Hey everyone, welcome back to the Marvel Man Cave. As you can see, it's a little bit of a different backdrop today because I'm going to talk about my Marvel helmet collection. Welcome back everyone. Before we get into the Marvel helmet collection, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button for me. It really helps out the channel, and I appreciate all of you that have subscribed and commented and liked and done all the things before. So let's get started with the Marvel helmet collection. So the first thing you'll notice is what I've done with all my helmets is I have one of the IKEA Kallax. One of the modifications, or I guess two of the modifications I've done to it, is I've added an LED strip to the outside with a channel. It's not the best because you can still see the hot spots, but I have ideas for an upgrade way down the line. And then on the outside of each of these, because on the inside, which you'll see some B-roll here, there's holes on the inside that I use to run the channel through. So I just took some strips and put it on the outside so you can't see the gap from the outside. So that's how I have all my helmets lit up. If you're interested in a more detailed video of how I did that, please let me know in the comments below and I'll take care of that later. I'm going to start with my Iron Man helmet because this was the first one that I ever got. I'm going to give you a close-up look of the helmet itself. This is probably my favorite one. I don't know if it comes through, but the eyes do light up when you do that. There's a button on the inside of the helmet that you can turn it on and off, and it makes, right on cue, it makes noise whenever you do certain things. The batteries are probably a few years old. There's probably a little bit of dust on this one as well. He didn't want to make noise before, now he won't shut up. But this one, I think I got from Zavvi. Pretty sure sometime during the pandemic, I think it went on sale. And I'd been kind of holding off for a while. But at that point, I really wanted to have it. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to start collecting. I didn't, at the time, I did not know I was going to start collecting these. I was like, I'll get the Iron Man helmet because I really like it. I had gotten Mjolnir. So I was just kind of adding to my Marvel Legends, probably the Infinity War or Infinity Saga collection. So this is probably my favorite one because it's the first. And I mean, who doesn't love Iron Man? Loves to hear himself talk. But you also see with these, which each of my helmets, what I've done is I've put a couple other collectibles that I have that represents each of the characters. I initially started out with just doing the Funko for each of them. And then I realized like I have other things that kind of represent. So for Iron Man, I have one of the Funko Pops. And then I collect the Disney Infinity. So I have the Disney Infinity. Let's see if that'll focus in. This was a really fun game. I'm really sad they don't make it anymore. If for nothing else, then the figures for the Disney Infinity was pretty cool. I really enjoyed those. So we're going to put Iron Man back. Next on the tour is my Black Panther helmet. So here's a look at the Black Panther helmet. This one is a little bit more obvious in that it lights up around the edge. This is not the reissue. They reissued this, but it was after I bought it. At least I'm pretty sure it was after I bought it. Sometime after, and it's not the one from Wakanda Forever. It was one of the originals that came out for the first Black Panther movie. But this one's pretty cool. It's got a little bit of a different, I would say, mechanism than Iron Man. There's nothing on the inside in terms of lighting it up. On these, it's on the outside. So this opens up the eyelids so you could see. Now I will say, like for most of these, you can see out of the lenses in these pretty well. But this has obviously got the effect of being able to actually see your eyes through it. And then the button on the left cheek does all the light up stuff, so it changes it, turns it on, turns it off, goes through the different modes, and things like that. So this one's pretty cool. I mean, the Iron Man helmet's cool, but the Black Panther, it looks pretty cool, and it's got a, I would say, probably of all the helmets, I'm just kind of checking here, of all the helmets, it's got the coolest light up feature. It definitely stands out the most. And with Black Panther here, again, I have one of his Funko Pops kind of hanging out in there, and then another one of the Disney Infinity. So now I'm sliding over a little bit because I want to show off Ant-Man, and for this one we'll start off with the accoutrement. I have one of the newer Ant-Man. I think this is from Quantum Mania. I used to have a few more Ant-Man Pops, but I like this one, so I kept this one. And then so far, sticking with the theme, is I have the Disney Infinity of Ant-Man. It's really a shame. I know I said it before, but it's really a shame they don't make these anymore. Put him up here so I can get the helmet out. This is probably the biggest helmet that I own, and for sure it's the heaviest. This one has got some definite weight to it. I don't know, which to me is kind of ironic because Ant-Man, you would think ants, they're small, they're tiny, they don't weigh very much, but this is the heaviest helmet that I own. This one is similar to Black Panther in that it doesn't have anything on the inside. There's no buttons on the inside. I know it's probably hard to see, but there's nothing on the inside of the helmet that you have to touch, but it's on the outside. There's a button, and everything initially lights up red. You can kind of see the antenna there, the front, and then if you push it again, lights up blue, obviously for getting bigger and smaller. And I should note, I didn't note it on the other ones, but all of these, they are meant to be worn. You can wear them. I don't every now and then. I'll be honest, I put them on just for fun. And that's why you can see out of all the lenses. So you can, I mean, you're not going to want to drive with these things on, but you can see out of them if you just want to put them on. I'm sure if you were walking around at a convention or something like that, you would be able to see well enough. Probably more so out of Ant-Man and Black Panther and obviously some of the other ones than Iron Man. Iron Man probably has the worst vision that I've seen. It's got kind of a coating over outside of the lenses, so everything feels a little pixelated, and it's just a little bit of a smaller spot, so it's a little bit hard to see. So this is the Ant-Man helmet. And then not my newest helmet in the collection, but the second newest is the Magneto, which here, this one I don't have. If they have a Disney Infinity one of Magneto, I don't know about it. So I just have two Funko Pops. I think this is the original Funko Pop they made of Magneto, and this is one of the ones I believe from X-Men '97 that they came out with. So this is actually the one I prefer. I have a couple other Magneto Funko Pops. I have the Venomized one, but these are pretty cool. I like this one because of the floating feature. But this helmet, fairly simple, no light up feature. It's just the helmet. It does come with a stand that I think I posted on Blue Sky, the new Doctor Doom helmet. The stand for this and that look very similar. Obviously, other than the other one is Doctor Doom. I chose not to display it on the stand. For a long time I had it, but it's fairly big, and I kind of like the way the light hits it when it's not on the stand. And this is again, it's about as simple as a helmet as you can get. You can see there's nothing, it doesn't light up, it doesn't do anything, it just looks cool. So I just leave it sitting here without the stand, and I think that's just the way I have preferred it over the last several months. So now I'm going to go kind of back in reverse. So this is my newest helmet, the Daredevil helmet. This is the only, let me double check here. This is the only non-Marvel Legends Hasbro helmet that I own. This one actually came from Disneyland. Kind of similar, if you saw my arc reactor video. Disney, I would say, quietly released a Daredevil helmet before the new Daredevil show came out. I saw it on someone's YouTube video when they were going through the new Avengers store in Disney, and was like, I have to have this helmet. This has to be. I mean, I kind of figured they would eventually sell it online, and they did, but now it's sold out. Similar to Magneto, though, this doesn't light up or anything like that. It is just a helmet to put on. You can kind of see, I think, the lenses, they look opaque, but you can see through them. Like when you're looking through this way, they are red. Everything just basically has a red tint to it. But this is a really cool helmet. It does stretch just a little bit if you got to put it on your head. So let me try that right now. So this is what this one looks like on, and I can perfectly see, like, this would be another one that if you were going to wear at a convention, you would be able to see. Obviously, everything has a red tint, so it might feel a little weird, but you can see out of it well enough. And because of that stretchy material that goes in between the two, it fits pretty well. Like, it doesn't really bobble around on my head too much. Obviously, if I wouldn't run in this, I wouldn't be Daredevil and swinging from buildings. Not that I could anyway, but I wouldn't recommend that in this. But if you're just kind of walking around a convention or something like this, this would be more than adequate. This one does come with a stand. You can kind of see it's got a little nice little soft rubber material here, so you don't do any damage to the helmet. It's got the Daredevil logo here. I think for my purposes, as you can kind of see when I put it in where it goes, the stand, I think you can see that. The stand is a little bit taller than I would like. I would probably like it to be a few inches shorter. That way when I put the helmet on, it's kind of like Magneto, where it sits a little bit lower. For this one, because of the logo, I preferred to keep it on there. But it does take a little bit more, I would say, finagling to get it into this spot. Partially because I have the LED strip there, but also just because the stand itself goes pretty close to the top. And then when you put the helmet on, it's basically like right there. It gives you gives me very little clearance to get it on the shelf. So you can kind of see the way that looks. And as for the Funkos for this one, I have the Daredevil from the original Netflix series. And then they released the Daredevil in the yellow suit from She-Hulk. Decided I wanted to get this one too. I mean, the classic Daredevil look. And I mean, this one's pretty cool. It's got nice little details and stuff like that in it as well. So added these to the collection just to give each cube a little bit more something, zhuzh it up a little bit. Next up on the list is the Spider-Man helmet. You can kind of barely see it in this frame, so I apologize. My camera's about as low as I can get it. This is the Iron Spider helmet. Definitely has a little bit of dust on it. This one, I held off on getting it for about the longest time, because I don't know why. I mean, obviously I love Spider-Man, but I wasn't sure about the helmet. I like the original kind of cloth mask. I like the Iron Spider from the MCU, but I just wasn't sure. And I think at some point I had already gotten, I think everything. I had everything but Magneto and Daredevil. Yeah, I think I had all the other ones, and I was kind of like, why am I not going to have Spider-Man in my collection? And at this point, it was like, I guess I have to have all the helmets. So that's why I ended up getting this one. So this one is similar to Iron Man in that it's got a little button. Maybe if I can find it. A little button, I hope you can see that, like kind of right where my finger is, that pushes it and it activates, and you can see eyes turn blue, and then as you kind of push, it gets lower and then it turns red, so instant kill mode, and then making sure, and then it gets a little bit dimmer, and then it's dimmer again, and then I should be off. So no noise from this one, which was nice, but obviously the light up effect is pretty cool. And this one, I'm not sure if you can make it out on camera, but you can kind of see it's got the texture on the lenses. So putting this on, again, you can see, and it may be because I'm in my late 40s, but it's not the easiest to see through. So I would not be really putting this on and walking around, but those of you who are a little bit younger can probably put this on and have no real issue, especially once it lights up. I find it a little bit more difficult to see, but you can kind of see, get it as close as you can, the texture without it lit up. But this one is definitely really cool. I mean, who doesn't want Spider-Man in their collection? And then for this one, I had to obviously add the Iron Spider. For some of these, like I think for War Machine and Spider-Man, I think I bought an extra Funko Pop because I have these already with my Infinity Saga Funko collection over there, and I didn't want to remove them from there, so I bought an extra one. Luckily, a lot of times you can find these open for really, really cheap, so I know I bought an extra Spider-Man one just for the purpose of putting it here. I do have the Disney Infinity ones of him, but I keep them with my other Spider-Man collection that's off frame up there, so I just haven't put it down here. Next up is Star-Lord. So I'm going to start with the Funko Pop. So I added the Star-Lord Funko Pop, and I wanted to make sure I have the helmet. I have the other version where he doesn't have the helmet, but it felt like they needed to have the helmet in here. And then the Disney Infinity of Star-Lord as well. I have the entire Guardians, including Yondu. For my Infinity, you might be able to see most of them behind my head, up with the Guardians Lego, but I have all those. The Star-Lord helmet, I would say, is probably the unique one because it has no top. I mean, like Star-Lord's actual helmet, it has no top. So this one's pretty cool. Just kind of give you a little bit of a tour around it a little bit. This one's got good detail. It does actually have, I would say, it's not Adam Savage approved weathering, but it does have some weathering features to it where it looks like it's been worn down around some of the edges. Initially, there's a little bit, looks like almost like oil or something here. This is intentional. I wasn't sure when I first got it if these were actually scratches, if it was supposed to be this way, but after looking at videos online, this is the way it's supposed to look. So I would say this one is most similar to the Ant-Man and Iron Man one, or no, sorry, back that up, Ant-Man and Black Panther one, other than it has an on-off switch on the inside. So this one you can just leave off at all times, but then you can turn it into its power on position, and then kind of similar to Black Panther nose, it's got a little button on the side of the helmet. Let's see if I can get that, push that, and then makes a little bit of noise, eyes light up. Let's see if it's a little bit easier to see at an angle. So this one's pretty cool. This was nice because I think this is still out of print. I'd have to double check that, and maybe by the time I put out this video, I'll have something in the description whether or not it is. But my wife actually got me this. It was, I would say, other than Spider-Man, it was the second to last helmet that I needed at the time. So I remember talking to her about it, and honestly, just kind of one of those things I'm like, oh, I'm probably never going to get the Star-Lord helmet, or I need to wait until they re-release it. I think they did actually re-release this after she got it for me, but this ended up being a birthday present from her. So that was pretty cool, and I want to say like maybe 6 months or a year later, just before Guardians of the Galaxy 3 came out, they re-released this helmet. And unlike the Black Panther one, I'm pretty sure it was the same exact helmet. I know at one point I saw it in Target, I think on clearance for like $30, so what are you going to do? But it's really cool to have in the collection. I really like that it's unique in that way. It's really nice to have Star-Lord's helmet. This one does have a bit of a strap here because obviously you got nothing to sit on your head, so you have to adjust the strap forward and back to get it to your head. Again, I don't really wear these, so I'm less concerned about the cosplay feature of them. You can see what I do with them. I sit them in my Kallax and look at them. I light them up every now and then. Every now and then I do put one on just to have a good time, but for the most part, they just sit here collecting dust and looking cool. And then finally, on my helmet collection, at least for now, until I get the Doctor Doom helmet, is War Machine. So for War Machine, I bought the Marvel Legend of him. This is just cool. I got this from my local comic book store. Shout out Challengers, Comics and Conversation. I'd say the only downside of him is his gun comes off quite a bit in the hip pockets. I'm actually nervous picking him up because I'm afraid something's going to fall off. I've thought about gluing this stuff on, but that seems a little bit extreme. So we're just going to gingerly lay him down on the ground right here and hope he stays intact. And again, for this one, the Funko Pop of War Machine that I found open. I forget even what store. I just found open one day and added him to the collection specifically for the display of this helmet. Finishing how we kind of started is the War Machine helmet. Now, this is probably identical to the Iron Man helmet, including the way it powers on. There's a button. See if you can see that. Well, of course I put my finger over. There's a button right there, lights up. Oh, unless the batteries. Oh, there we go. I think the batteries are almost dead in this one. That's why it's not lighting up. But I don't think you can see it on camera. But the eyes are lit up red, and it's kind of similar to the Spider-Man. When you push the button, it lights up initially. So when its power's on, it makes the noise. The eyes are as bright as they get, and then each successive press, they get a little dimmer until they turn off. But this one, I think also, same with the Iron Man, you can take off the faceplate. It makes the little noise. There's the little magnetic stuff here. So it makes it really easy to get on and off. So, I mean, I guess you could walk through a convention with just this look. This is the inside of the helmet. Believe Iron Man does the same thing. Obviously, I don't really take these off too much. Again, as I've said before. But it goes on pretty easy. It just goes on with magnets. Makes this little sound effect whenever you're taking it on or off. So that's my Marvel, mostly MCU, outside of a couple, really outside of Magneto, helmet collection that I own. Which one was your favorite? If I had to pick a favorite, it's I know I said Iron Man at the beginning, and probably that holds a special place because it was the first one, but obviously Star-Lord was a gift from my wife, and at that time it was out of print, so I really enjoy the Star-Lord one as well. I think it's cool. But I love all my helmets. I know you might be saying, but what about the Green Goblin one? This might be blasphemy, even though I really love the Sam Raimi trilogy. Well, okay, first two Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire. I have never been that big a fan of the Green Goblin look in that movie. I thought the MCU did it right when they brought Green Goblin into the MCU and they got rid of the mask. I just never really was crazy about the mask, especially with Willem Dafoe. I mean, such an expressive actor. His face is the role. So I never really liked the helmet. Maybe at some point, if that helmet goes discounted enough, I may pick it up. But at this point, I have no intent of actually getting that Green Goblin mask. But I do have my Doctor Doom helmet on order. I'm excited about that one because it comes with a hood. I'm excited to see how it's going to look on the stand. I already have a spot kind of cleared out. I'm going to make some room for some other things and move my room around a little bit in the coming future. But I wanted to make sure I had a room for Doom, even though it doesn't come out in August, which is I don't know how many months away, 4 or 5 months. But thanks for watching this video today. Again, if you enjoyed today's video, please hit that like button. Consider subscribing. I got some other videos coming out. I aim to do one long video a week and one short video a week. So check out my channel, see what you think. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of my helmet collection. Should I get the Green Goblin one? Which one of these helmets were your favorite? Love to hear from you guys. And don't forget, collect what you love.